And welcome. Welcome to another WRF Self-Help Reflexology Zoom event. Our focus today will be on self-help reflexology techniques for relief of headaches, sinus issues, and allergies. So this afternoon, you will learn simple techniques on the ears for working the spinal cord reflexes and a master point for overall relaxation. You will be shown how to locate and hold 3 functional ear reflexology points: headache point, sinus point, and allergy point, along with easy to follow techniques on the hands and the feet for relief of headaches and sinus issues, and effective techniques for working the liver reflexes on the feet and the hands for allergies. So before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to the World Reflexology Foundation. We are a group of highly trained reflexology leaders, educators, and practitioners. And we've been inspired by our experiences with reflexology. Our mission is simple: to help people experience better health. Most of our board members are also WRF volunteer trainers. This afternoon, we have several WRF board members presenting, as well as a WRF volunteer trainer. It is my pleasure to introduce you to them now. Please give a little wave when I call your name. So our president, Bill Floco. Our vice president, Stephanie Sabuntian. Tina Meyer, treasurer. Mita Wise, director.
Hi.
And myself, Kathy Reynolds, corresponding secretary. Also joining us today is one of our WRF volunteer trainers, Quirino Ibarra. There he is. All right, I'm going to turn the mic over to our president, Bill Floco. He's going to talk a little bit about the foundation, what we do, how we do it, and why we do what we do. So Bill, take it away.
Well, thank you, Kathy. First of all, thank you all for caring enough about yourself and your loved ones to come on and spend a little time with us. Well, the World Reflexology Foundation was founded about 12, 13 years ago. And as Kathy said, we're a bunch of people, reflexologists, of course, who have a passion to help other people have better health. It's as simple as that. So our mission, although it's worldwide, is to help everyone on Earth eventually to have better health through reflexology. And what we do is we teach classes. So before the pandemic, we were teaching classes all over the place. Like just before you came on, Quirino was talking about a number of classes he's had with his family down in Mexico, where he's had like 36 people in one class and 20 in another. And we've had classes in quite a few countries, a huge number of cities and states across the country of the United States. And what we do besides those classes is, since we've had the pandemic, is of course for safety, we've been doing it this way through video. This is our 3rd one. And so that's how we do it. And our mission, as I've mentioned and Kathy has alluded to, is that everybody's got stress. Everybody's got health challenges. Rare is the person who doesn't have like a lower back problem or a headache or a pain at some form or other at some point in their life. So our goal is eventually, in different ways, to empower everybody to be able to reach out with their hands to help themselves on the feet, hands, and ears to have better health. So in a nutshell, we're all part of a beginning mission of spreading this worldwide. So that's a short overview of what the World Reflexology Foundation is. And now, Kathy, it's back to you. What's reflexology?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So what is reflexology? Reflexology is based on the concept of small maps or micro maps that represent the human body. We call these maps reflexology maps, and we find them on our feet and our hands and our outer ears. in reflexology, we use specific touch techniques like the thumb roll and the finger roll. These techniques are unique to the field of reflexology and are used to break down blockages that can accumulate and form around nerve endings when imbalances occur in the body. And with reflexology, we work to clear neural pathways, helping to bring the body back into balance or homeostasis. It can be said, therefore, that reflexology works mainly through the nervous system. So let's take a look at one of these maps right now. I'm gonna use my plastic foot to demonstrate. So if everyone can see this. So imagine if we shrunk down the human body to the size of a foot. We would have a complete map of the human body, top to bottom, front to back, and everything in between. So the toes represent everything in the head and neck area. The ball and pad represent everything in the chest area. This soft sole represents everything in the upper and mid abdomen. And the heel area represents everything in the lower abdominal pelvic area. Along this inner side, we've got the spinal reflexes represented. And on the outer edge, we've got the arm reflexes and the leg reflexes. So let's now take a look at the hands. So, oh, I've got one right here. So, all right, so the hands are quite similar to the feet, as you've got the fingers and the thumb representing the head and neck area. The knuckles here, including the thumb knuckle, representing the chest area. We've got the soft palm representing the mid and upper abdominal area, with the lower part of the hand right above the wrist representing the lower abdominal and pelvic regions. Again, on the inner edge, we've got the spinal, hope you can see that, spinal reflexes represented. And on the outer edge where the pinky is, we've got the arm reflexes and the leg reflexes. So that's a second map. And I did say that we have 3. So let's look at our ear. Again, let's imagine shrinking the human body down to the size of an ear. This is a big ear, but ears are different, quite different than the feet and the hands. I'll show you why. The head area is represented here on the lobe. So if we, just for reference, the lobe represents the head reflexes. With all the way on the opposite side, we've got the feet reflexes. So again, head reflexes represented here. This inner ridge right here is where you'll find the spinal reflexes. And in this inner valley right here is where you'll find most of the organ reflexes. So you can see it's quite different from the hands and the feet. So that's three maps. So now let's see how to use these maps for some self-care and self-help reflexology for the relief of headaches, sinus issues, and allergies. We encourage you guys to follow along with our presenters as they guide us, and to try out these reflex points and techniques on your own feet, hands, and ears as we move through them. So our first presenter is Carino. He will start us out with 2 powerful techniques on the ears for overall relaxation. These will set the stage for the other techniques that follow, helping them to be even more effective. Carino.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. I'm gonna be demonstrating 2 techniques. The first one is the spinal cords on the ear. And I got my ear right here so everybody can see it. they're gonna be located on the upper part of the ridge, or the outer ridge, like right here when I'm pointing. And we're gonna work from top to bottom. If you do it on your own ear, it's gonna be about an inch from top to bottom. And the way you're gonna do it, you're gonna unfold the ridge with your index. You can have your thumb on the back as a support. And you're gonna unfold it slowly, like this, going out. You can do 1 ear or 2 ears at a time, unfold it slowly. And you can do this from 3 to 15 minutes, depending on the time that you have. And that goes for every single point when you're doing reflexology. When you get asked how long can you do it, you can do 3 to 15 minutes, depending on your time. And as you can see, I'm moving my finger slowly. If you can do the same way on your ear, slowly. It almost looks like it's not moving, but it is. And that's what is gonna give you the benefit. Now I'm gonna try it on my ear so you can see it. Do it on your own ear. For reference, I'm only doing on one. So I put my index inside and pull it back little by little, slowly, unfolding the outer ridge. You're gonna start feeling relaxed. You're gonna start feeling the benefits. Then my second one, I'm going a little bit lower and going back in and coming out slowly. The slowest that you do it, the better that it is. That's all the spinal reflexes right there. And you're gonna feel your back relaxing. You're gonna feel feeling of relaxation. So do it slowly. Then if you want to do both ears at the same time and you have a desk, you can go like this, put it in, and slowly going out. The reason you're gonna raise your shoulders is so you don't get tired. And you can do it for longer. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. And you can come back and do it from top to bottom. I'm feeling relaxed already, so I'm gonna stop right there before I fall asleep. But then the next one I'm gonna show you how to locate the 0 point on your ear. I'm gonna use my big ear as a reference. So you follow we were working on the outer ridge. You follow the outer ear ridge with your index all the way into the ear. Follow on your own ear. Follow the ridge into your ear right there. You're gonna see a bump. You're gonna feel a bump. Right there is where you want to stimulate. I'm using my index. So once I get the bump, I'm gonna stimulate right there. You can press, I'm gonna do it on my ear if everybody can do it on your own ear. Follow the ridge inside. If you come from the outside, follow the ridge, go inside into the ear. And with the tip of the index, just press gently, lightly. When you press from 1 minute to 3 minutes, then you're gonna start feeling a sensation, like a little, how do I describe it? Like it's pulsating. When it's pulsating, it's because you're right on the point. You're stimulating the point. This one is for overall health. It help you prepare the body for the rest of the session, for everything. You can start with these 2 points every time that you want to do something on reflexology. So I'm gonna follow the ridge again, just to make sure that we locate the point. I'm gonna follow the ridge with my index, trying to get the hand out of the way, going in and follow the bump. Feel the bump and press right there slightly. You can do on both ears, follow the other one. When you have it, again, you can rest on the desk and just keep it there. You can keep it there again for 3 to 15 minutes. It's depending on your time. It's up to you. And with those 2 points, I feel relaxed. With those 2 points, I'm gonna give it back to Kathy and the rest of the team because we have little time. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful, Carino. Thank you so much. That was relaxing. Mita's next. She's going to show us 3 functional points on the ears: the headache point, the sinus point, and the allergy point.
We're going to first do the headache and the sinus point. So as Kathy mentioned, the head area is at the bottom on the lobe here. So the headache point is, remember that little flap of skin right here, that flap? Right below that is the headache point right across here. And so and then right, if you go a little, I'm going to show you 2 at the same time because they're so close. And then if you just move a little bit towards the front, where your ear meets your, the front being where your ear meets your face, and move a little bit forward, there's the sinus point right there. So I'm going to show you how to hold it. What you do is you do like a little C-clamp almost. You put your thumb at the back. See if I can do it on the side here. The thumb will be at the back. And then below that flap, we're going to do that headache point right here. And you're going to just hold that. Now, Carino already mentioned about doing it from 3 to 15 minutes or whenever you get relief. And you can actually also, you can move your finger around a little bit like this in a circle if you want, or you can just move it in different places on that below that flap of skin where that headache point is. So let's just hold it for a minute there, okay? And again, like Carino said, you can do one ear if you want, or you can do both ears. And if you choose, if you want to rest a bit, like he mentioned, you can put your elbows on the table. Good. Now shift your finger a little bit towards the front of your face. Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm in the wrong place here. This is the headache point right here under that big flap there. Okay. So just move a little bit towards the front of the face, and you've got the sinus point, which is almost still under that flap, but towards the front of the face. There it is right there. So you're going to hold there on the sinus point for a minute. You can also put your thumb behind to steady it. And again, you can do one side, both sides, whatever you're feeling. Great. So that's the headache point. Again, it's that flap on the bottom there, right here on the ear. Now let's look at it on the ear itself. So here's that flap, if you can see. And I'm going to put my thumb behind. And then at the bottom of that flap is the headache point. And then if you move your finger a little bit, this front finger a little bit towards the front of the face, that's your sinus point right there. Good. So that's the headache point and the sinus reflex point. Now let's talk about our allergy point, which is in a different place. Now this is a really effective point. Some people have had some really good results, and they've been doing it consistently every day, a few times a day. So it can be very helpful for allergies. So I'm going to show you first on the ear, and this time we're going to go to the very top of the ear. The very, very top. So I've actually got a pin in the top. So this is the very top of the ear. And we're going to do like almost a little C-clamp, and we're going to put it on the top and the bottom. So I like to do the finger going right here, and it's like a top to bottom. I'm going to put it on the side so you can see it. And then the thumb goes right on the top. So it's top to bottom. It's not back and front. It's like top to bottom, and here right under that furl. And I'm going to do that on the ear, like some of you are already. So I'm going to do top to bottom. I have to do this way. And this time I've got the thumb underneath because it's a little bit easier. So either way is fine, whether you have the thumb on the top or the thumb on the bottom is fine, so long as you're doing a sort of a top to bottom. Hold it for a minute. Let's hold it for a minute. Okay, great. Again, one ear, two ears, whatever feels right for you, resting your elbows. And that is the allergy point. And if you are having issues with allergies, please try this one. It's a really, really good one. And that's it for me.
Beautiful, Mita. Thank you. That was great. Oh, okay, now we've got Stephanie, who's going to lead us through 3 foot reflexology techniques for relief of headaches, sinus issues, and allergies. Stephanie.
Thank you, Kathy, and hi, everyone. So I will show you how you can work on your foot, and I will show you first on this plastic foot, and then I will show it on my own foot and guide you through it so that you can actually follow along. So we'll start with the big toe. Big toe represents head and neck and all of head and neck. So we will work for headache relief on the big toe. And what you could do is support with the fingers. Put the fingers supportive on the nail side of the big toe, and then place the pad of your thumb at pretty much at the top part of the big toe, and put a little bit pressure and bend and unbend. And we're using a thumb roll here. It's called a thumb roll, one of our unique reflexology techniques. So I'm bending and unbending my thumb and rolling across the tissue of the big toe. This way, you can cover the entire big toe, bending, unbending the thumb rolling across the tissue, softening up the tissue. And each time you're lifting off and start over again, you come a little lower. So we're including here actually the neck reflexes too, because sometimes headache can come from the occipital area or the lower part, the base of the head, and also from neck tension. And since we're working in a minute for sinus relief, when you're working the neck reflexes, that can already help you relieve some sinus issues. So that's the next thing what we'll do. And that for sinus relief, it works best when you work all 3 soft sides of the other toes. So a soft side is the bottom of the toe and the sides of the toes. So I'll show you how you can do that on the toe. You cradle one of the toes with the fingers on the nail side, and then you start a thumb roll from the top of the toe down to the base of the toe. And then you turn a little bit onto the side between the second toe and the big toe. And then the other side. Oops, getting back into the picture. And this way you can work all the rest of the toes too. We already learned from Mita that we have an allergy point on the ear. Now, we do not have an allergy point on the foot. However, you can work the liver reflexes at the upper soft sole to relieve some reducing allergenic compounds, because the liver is a filter organ, filters the allergenic compounds and of course other stuff too. So working, and the liver in our body is mainly on the right side. most part of the liver is on the right side. So we're working mainly on the right foot. That's the wrong foot, but this is a teaching tool anyway. So I'll show you later on my own foot and use the right one. Support the back of the foot with your fingers, and we're using a thumb roll again. Put it on the inner edge, on the soft sole, but starting at the inner edge and thumb rolling across the entire tissue, across the entire soft sole of the foot until you're coming below the pinky toe. Lift off and start over just a little lower now. So this way we can work slowly, methodically, thumb rolling. It's like inchworming across, but we do call it thumb roll. And that way you can cover the entire upper part of the soft sole. So now I will show you how you can actually work on your own foot. I'll encourage you to follow along. If you're flexible enough to put your foot on your right foot on the left leg, and we'll start with the big toe again. Support with your right hand here, the nail part of your big toe, and start thumb rolling across the tissue, starting at the top of the big toe. Nice and slow. Coming across, now lifting off, starting a little lower. And this way you can cover the entire big toe. Thumb rolling across, including the neck reflex, because halfway down the big toe, we already have the base of the head, and we include that. Remember, you can also work the sinus reflexes here. Not the sinus reflexes, but when you work the neck reflexes, it helps to relieve some of the sinus issues already. Now we're coming to the sinus reflexes here on the toes, 3 soft sides of the toes. Remember, first we're cradling I put the big toe a little bit out of the way so that you can see it. Cradle the second toe with some of my fingers, index finger, middle finger, and start thumb rolling from the top of the toe to the base of the toe. Nice and slow. And I'm working the side of the second toe. And the other side, I can work with the index, and I can work with index finger and middle finger, or just with the index finger. There are always options. And this way you do all the other toes. I'm speeding it up a little bit, and when you do this at home, of course, you're working all the toes, nice and slow. For time reasons, we will move on to the liver reflexes. So liver reflex, as I showed you before, upper part of the soft sole, mainly on the right foot, because most part of the biggest part of the liver in your body is on the right side of the body. So support the back of the foot with your fingers so that you have something to push against, and thumb rolling from the inner edge on the soft sole, nice and slow across. So we're starting pretty much below the pad and the ball of the foot. All the way across if you can. If you can't reach it, you can actually come from the other side too. Then lifting off and start a little bit lower. Nice and slow. Thumb rolling across the tissue. In this way, you will work the entire liver reflexes on the upper part of the soft sole, mainly on the right foot. Some people might not be flexible enough to reach your own foot. You can use a tennis ball. Put it under the soft sole of your foot and roll it on the soft sole, but be gentle. always be gentle with you. And this is it. I'll give it back to Kathy. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. That was great. All right, we've got one more. Finally, Tina she's going to take us through these same techniques that Stephanie just demonstrated, but on the hands. And she's also going to be showing us one more quick and easy way to relieve headaches. Tina.
Well, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. It's so nice to see you today. And thank you for Stephanie and the whole team here for doing such a good job. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I'm already feeling very relaxed. No headache to be found. My sinuses are clear and allergies are gone. So just with working with the ears and the feet. So it's fabulous. So I'm going to be showing you how to relieve these issues, the sinus, headache, and allergy issues, if you have them, on our hands. Just as you've heard previously, the reflex maps on the hands are very similar to the reflex maps on the feet. So our fingers on up represent the head and the neck. So we have our thumb here. And on the big pad of our thumb, that's where we're going to find the headache reflex points to help with relieving our headaches. So what you're going to do, now mind you, I'm a little challenged with demonstrating on a computer. So in a normal situation, you would be using your thumb to do that fabulous thumb roll that Stephanie was showing us. A little hard to show you on the screen with my thumb. So I'm just going to demonstrate it with my fingertip going across like so. And that's fine also. You can still use your fingertip. And you're just going to be covering that whole thumb pad, going all the way down to that first joint, which represents the head reflex. And this is fabulous for headaches. Now, when we get all the way down to that first joint, you may feel, bending your thumb, right underneath that, we may be very familiar, some of you who suffer from headaches, tension headaches, and you get that tension headache right at a point along the ridge of our skull, which is called the occipital ridge. That's located, that occipital ridge reflex point is right here. So you can really get in underneath that point to work if you're having a tension headache right underneath that occipital ridge. And again, going all the way across that thumb joint or that thumb pad. Now, and then you can go to the other hand and do it on the other hand also. Same thing for the allergy points. Those allergy points are located on the 3 soft sides of your fingers. So you have 1, 2, and 3 soft sides on your fingers. Easier said than said. So what you're going to do there is you're going to come in again with your thumb roll, and you're just going to come along and you're going to do a nice slow thumb roll all the way down one side of your finger. And again, because we're demonstrating, we have a short period of time to demonstrate, we speed things up a little bit. Just know that when you're doing this in the privacy of your own home, you're going nice and slow, taking big, deep, relaxing breaths, and always thinking happy thoughts as you go along. So now I'm going along. Again, I'm showing you for demonstration purposes. I would be normally like so. For that next one, you can bring in that 2-finger roll, and you're going to come along on the next soft side of your finger. And you can do little finger rolls this way. Once you complete that finger, then you're going to go to the next finger, the next, and so on. And then you can complete the whole routine over onto the next hand. So that is the allergy points on your excuse me, sinus points on your hands. For the allergy points, as Stephanie had said, we don't have that allergy point, but we reflex the liver point, reflex point, which is located in the same area just on the hand, which is right below this pad, right below it, in this upper soft sole of your hand. And what you're going to do there is you're going to come in again with your nice thumb roll. And you're going to go all the way across, feeling nice and relaxed. Now, because I'm demonstrating and I want you to see what I'm doing, I'm keeping my little fingers here nice and straight. But again, in the privacy of your own home, when you're doing this, you're just going to relax your fingers over so your hand is nice and relaxed. And you can get into all of those different reflex, that whole different reflex point. Okay. Looks fabulous, everybody. Glad to see you're coming along with me. So for the long-awaited mystery point for the headache relief, that is going to be located right here in this web. It's right between your thumb and your forefinger. You can feel the long bones there. It comes to a point. In the acupuncture world, that point is called the hoku. We're going, but we call it in reflexology world, the big web. What you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb, you're going to locate that area. Sometimes it may be tender. If you have a tender, if you are experiencing a headache, it may be tender there. So just be aware. And you're just going to, again, just do that little thumb roll and you're going to go all the way up. And again, I'm going to bring in a finger, just it makes it a little easier for demonstration. And I'm going to go all the way up that long bone here in the hand. But you can work this whole area. You can work this whole area in that web. And again, if you find a sore or tender spot, feel free just to hold it for a moment. You can do gentle little circles. You could hold these points, again, anywhere between 2 to 15 minutes. Thinking nice, happy thoughts. If your thumb gets a little sore holding it there, you can switch to your finger. You can switch to the other hand. You can continue going on with the other hand. So you have options here. So there you go. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tina. That was great. You should have an idea where to reflex for headaches, sinus issues, and allergy relief. Before we get to a quick review and to take your questions, I'm going to let Bill give us a little more information. Bill?
Hello, everybody. Hi again. First of all, great demonstrations. Thanks to all of you. Now, as each of you who are maybe a little less familiar with reflexology, sometimes you'll be able to put better pressure on with the pad of your thumb, but sometimes you might really need to get to the tip of your thumb or the corner of your thumb. As you get to the tip of the thumb, you'll be able to use less of your pressure, but you'll get more detail. And if you use the corner of your thumb, again, it'll be easier for your hand, but you'll be able to get even more targeted, detailed, tender spots. Now, as you reflex more on the feet and hands, you can find tenderness. On the ears, you don't find tenderness as much. If you haven't injured yourself in your feet or hands or ears, that tenderness is a gift. It shouldn't be tender. So it's telling you that we need to work those chemicals out of there. At the beginning, Kathy mentioned about the nervous system, where there's chemicals that accumulate around areas that are related to where we have stress. So if it's headaches and sinuses, it's in the head. Or like if it's your neck or lower back, it'll be in the neck or lower back reflexes, where you'll find tenderness. So the idea what you're trying to do there is not using too much pressure, so it's painful, but tenderness is good. It's telling you, hey, this shouldn't be tender. Spend extra time here and work those chemicals out. Now, if you've noticed that quite a few of the demonstrators have said work for anywhere from 3 to 15 minutes. There have been some people I've worked on, including myself, for headaches, where I've worked on for maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, especially with migraines. So sometimes it takes a long time. Other times it takes repeated during the same day or repeated over a period of weeks or so. Some people expect miracles. Don't expect miracles from reflexology, but do expect the longer that a problem has been a health challenge, the longer it's going to take you to reverse it. So if you've had something like sinus issues for years and years and years, don't expect 1 or 2 or 3 days to reverse that. It can relieve the symptoms, but not the frequency. So there are a few pointers there. Because of time, we've spent time more on one ear or one hand or one foot. But the idea is a lot of things are bilateral. You need to do both feet, both hands, both ears. So maybe one day you could do both ears, the next day you could do both feet, the next day you could do both hands, then start the cycle over again. And why do all three? There's a theory about working chemicals out in those where we find that tenderness. Well, if you work the chemicals out in the tenderness, let's say in the ears, you've still left those chemicals in the hands and the ears and the feet. Or a lot of people just do foot reflexology. If you just work out the tenderness in the foot, let's say the brain reflex and headache and sinus reflex in the foot, if you only do that, you're still leaving those chemicals in the headache and sinus reflex in the hands and in the ears. So try to remember that concept. There's neurologic importance. Why? Because you do one, you get results. You do all 2, feet and hands, you get better results. You do all 3, feet, hands, and ears, you're going to get the best results. So frequency, consistency are very, very important. Do it once or twice, it might help. Do it consistently. You are worth doing it consistently. Yay. Now, shifting gears a little bit. When we break that tenderness down, those are chemicals that are being released into our blood system. So what we want to do is remember, it's often suggested to drink plenty of extra fluids so we can flush those fluids out. So drinking extra water is important. We would like your help. This is the 3rd time we've done a seminar like this. We would love to have your feedback. In fact, we've put this out offering free to you. Perhaps you could do us a favor that within the next couple of days, we're going to send a survey to you through the email, of course. Would you please, please, please honor us by taking maybe 3 or 4 minutes to complete the survey and send it back to us with your guidance. What was strong, what could be strengthened, and how? Because each time we feel like we're getting better and better at this, and it's a lot of it's because of your feedback and your help. Another thing you could do is go to our website, which we'll put that website up again so you can see the URL and access. And you can sign up for our free e-newsletters, which we also will give occasional notices of when the next workshops are coming up. We're already starting to plan the next one. But what's it about? We're not going to tell you right now, but that'll be a secret. And most of all, we volunteer our time. The World Reflexology Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit. And the way we're able to pay for Zoom, the way we're able to pay for our email, our URLs, our websites, and lots of hidden expenses is through your donations. So we don't have any sugar daddies or sugar mamas yet. So until that time, we sure would love your donation. So if you feel like you could help us that way, we would greatly appreciate it. So now we're going to turn it over to Stephanie, who's going to give us a quick review. Stephanie.
Thank you, Bill. So just a very quick review on, let's start with the ears. Karina was showing us how to relax the entire body with unfolding the outer ridge from the kind of top part of the outer ridge here, thumb behind, for relaxing the spinal cord reflexes, which relaxes the entire body. So you're unfolding the entire outer ridge. That was the first thing. Very slowly, of course, not as fast as I'm doing it here. Then he was showing us another beautiful relaxation point 0 point at the very center of the ear to help also to relax the entire points and the entire body. And this actually will help to give already the body a chance to help everything else better too, to work for headache relief, sinus relief, and everything else you want to work for. So these were the first 2 points Karina was showing us. Then Mita was showing us the headache point, and if you can see that here, the blue pins, that's where you hold for headache relief. It's the cartilage above the earlobe. And then if you see, there's right next to it a little white pin. Zooming in here a little bit. That's the point Mita was showing us for sinus relief. Remember, she said it's a little closer to the face, which would be here. Then she was showing us the allergy point at the very top of the ear. The allergy point actually is underneath the ridge, underneath the outer ridge, but we're holding it like a C-clamp from bottom and top, both points at the same time, more effective. Allergy point on the very highest part of the ear. Show it a little bit different with my other hand so that you can see it better, top to bottom. Then Stephanie, oh, that was me. I was showing you how you can help your headache relief on the toes. So you worked the big toe for headache relief, including the lower part of the big toe for neck reflexes. Then you were working all the 3 soft sides of all the other toes for sinus relief. And then you worked for liver reflexes to help to release some of the allergenic compounds, because the liver is a filter organ. Tina was showing us on the hands how do we do this. A head reflex on the upper part of the thumb, but we include, for good measure, we include the lower part too for neck reflexes, because it helps headaches too, and sinuses. Then she was showing us how to work all 3 soft sides of the fingers for sinus reflexes, sinus relief, and then mainly on the right, but as Bill said, if you have more time, you can of course do the other side too. The liver reflexes also underneath the thumb, don't forget the thumb, and on the kind of mid upper part of the palm reflex. Then she showed us how to have an additional point on the hand in the big web. You can work it or hold it for headache relief. So that was just a very quick review. And with this, I give it back to Kathy.
Beautiful. Thank you, Stephanie. That was great.